Okay. All right. Today we'll have an interview of Likiths by Col Mukteshwar. He has been the deputy at Bangalore SSB and old colleague. It is nice of him that he has accepted to conduct the interview in a very short time. Very short time. Thank you, sir. I think it's nice having you around there. On the panel, we also have today Captain Sushil. He will just be in the listening mode. And me, I'll be naturally be in the listening mode and then come with that. Now, just to introduce Likiths. Likiths is son of a teacher who is from Mysuru. His father, Yanni, was said this teacher he had 8,000 rupees per month. His mother is a clerk. She earns about 32,000 rupees per month. He has got a younger sister. She's working as a tech support. Tech support. He's working on that. He himself has done his 10th with 91.2%, 12th with 88.8%, and then he has done a BTech in mechanical engineering from Mysuru University with 65.8%. He plays throw ball, cricket, kabaddi, and even swimming. They are his favorite games that he runs. As far as hobbies concerned, he enjoys reading, graphic design, and then cycling and farming. He is an avid person. Whenever he finds time, he runs back to his farm to do something about it. Then over and above that, he loves to do cycling. He has appeared in SSB about 4 times. Firstly, he had gone to AFCAT, then he went to CDS, then twice he's gone for Indian Coast Guard. Now he is aspirant for SSB, which is scheduled now. From now onward, we'll all be in muted mode except for Col Mukteshwar and Likiths. And at the end of it, we'll try and put in. Right, sir? It's all yours. Thank you.
Sir. Good morning, Likiths. How are you?
Good morning, sir. Good, sir. Happy and healthy. Thank you.
Okay, good. You look very cheerful, nice.
Thank you, sir.
You belong to a very historical place, Mysuru.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's very good.
Thank
Tell
you.
me about Mysuru in details, everything that you know about the city.
Sir, Mysuru, the present day Karnataka till 1972 was called Mysuru. In 1972, it was named as Karnataka. So the modern city of Mysuru, it has a long history. The written history, which has documented, goes back to 1399, which was the Odiyars were the first rulers. We were the feudatories of Vijayanagara Empire of Hampi. And they were ruling, and in the 1760s, something, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan took over it. And after 4th Anglo-Mysorean War, when Tipu Sultan died in 1799, it was got into the hands of British under subsidiary alliances. So since it has a long history, it has been ruled by 3 major religion rulers. We can see its influence in architecture, culinary, tradition, and culture. That is why the modern Mysore city has become a tourist hub. We can see its influence in architecture because of Mysore Palace and forts and beautiful churches, and because of all major rulers are ruled, so it has a very good infrastructure. And post-independence, due to the land grants given by the rulers, it is home to many of the PSUs and central institutions. The prominent being CFTRI, Central Food Research Technological Institution, and Baba Atomic and Research Institutions is there. RBI Printing Press is there, and All India Institution of Speech and Hearing, one of the kind in the Mysuru, is there, and Air Force Selection Board, and many other state PSUs and central PSUs are there. So and if you look at in last decade or so, due to it is around 3 hours of journey from Bangalore. Due to the influence of Silicon City, Bangalore Mysuru is turning out to be a second electronic city, and many of the IT institutions are coming back because moving from Bangalore to Mysuru. Some of the prominent IT companies are Infosys, Accenture, L&T, Wipro, and many others also. And if you look at in agriculture point of view, since the river Kaveri flows through it, the land is quite fertile. Underground water is good, and it has many GI tags. It is prominent in agriculture. Betel leaves, silk, Mysore silk, and Mysore paddy, especially known as Rajmudi rice. It's very popular, and Mysore sandal soap, Mysore silk is world famous. And if you look at culture also, Mysore Dasara, which is celebrated during the Deepavali time, it is quite famous, especially because of elephant carrying the golden chariot, the world famous, and lot of tourist attraction brings. And it also yoga, you can say yoga capital of Karnataka. Because of long history of cultures and patrons given by the rulers, yoga has been a prominent culture. Many of the foreigners come and visit and get certified in yoga. And this is the reason why on June 21st, on 8th Yoga Day, the Honorable Prime Minister visited Mysuru and practiced yoga in the compounds of Mysore Palace. Sure. And some of the prominent persons from Mysuru can be one of the first recipient of Bharata Ratna Saram Vishweshwaraya, was also a Diwan in the Mysore. And R.K. Lakshman, R.K. Narayan, these are the persons who are from Mysore, and famous industrialist Narayan Murthy sir, and famous cricketer Venkatesh Prasad. These are the people who have brought a lot of great to the Mysore cities.
Okay. You said it's a tourist spot, but
Yes.
left over the Vrindavan Garden.
Sir, Brindavan Garden and Tipu Sultan Fort is around 30 kilometers from the modern Mysore city, which is belong to Seringapattana. So
Okay.
in old Mysore city, it can be included in Mysore, but in modern after independence, it belongs to two different districts. But we can say that KRS water, River Kaveri KRS water has been constructed. It is 30 kilometers from modern Mysore city.
Okay, good. Anyway, I've learned a lot about Mysore today. That's nice.
Thank you, sir.
In the next 45 minutes or so, we will speak about your education background, your family background, and things like that.
Yes, sir.
Starting with your education. Tell me right from standard 10th onwards, which all schools you've studied, what all subjects you liked, the subjects you did not like. Tell me about your teachers whom you liked the most, the teachers whom you did not care about much. Tell me about your extracurricular activities, what all activities you took part in school, college, your friends, what are the qualities you see in a person to make him your friend, and qualities, additional qualities which you see to make him your close friend. And what are your achievements during the school college days?
Yes, sir. Sir, I did my 10th standard from Sadvidya High School. In the board examination, I secured 91.2%. After my 10th standard, I chose science with a combination of physics, maths, chemistry, and biology. When I was in +1 and +2, I was a class representative. And in the board examination of +2, I scored 88.83%. And after that, I returned the state entrance examinations and I got a seat in engineering. I chose mechanical engineering. I did my mechanical engineering from Vidyavardhaka College of Mysuru, which belongs to Vishweshwara University. And I have scored 7.13 CGPA. And after my educations, I'm working in Infosys as a system engineer. So coming to the teachers, I like a lot of teachers. I usually like the teachers who have interactive sessions in the classrooms and whose teachings was beyond the syllabus. There were many teachers in my life like that. Hazel Miss, Anke Gowda sir, Ramesh sir, and Dinesh sir, many others. And the teachers who had not as much impact on me are the teachers who just stick to the syllabus, whose main objective was to complete the syllabus. There were certain few teachers in my engineering, they did not have much impact on me. Coming to subjects I like, in my school days, I should like mathematics very much. In my +1 and +2, I was biology also my favorite subject. I should score good marks in those things. In engineering, I really like more practical subjects like designing subjects, CAD design, AutoCAD subjects, automations, things like that. But I was not very much inclined in the theoretical subject like heat transfer or thermodynamics like that. When come to friends, sir, I have many friends of all age groups. I usually prefer people who are motivated, optimistic in life, empathetic persons to make them as a friends. Especially I'm close with a certain group of people. For example, one of my best friend, I consider Kunal, who is very honest with me. So whenever I make a mistakes, he just try to my face. He doesn't try to comfort me. Or Rahul was academically very good and doing very good in profession also. He has helped me in my academics. And Chetana, and she's one of the strong and independent women I've seen. We have both have a same careers, so we help each other in our career. And Surjit was very royal and humble friend. and usually avoid people who are pessimistic, materialistic persons or selfish. I avoid those kind of people making my friends. And extracurricular activities in my plus two, in my plus one and plus two, I was class representative. Make sure that I acted a mediator between the teachers and students. And in my college days, I've been a part of the event organization, especially in the college fest. I've been the support role of many of the events and successfully hosted many of the events by myself. And in my I have been part of and in my college days, I should be for a part-time job, and also like an hobby, I should do social media marketing. I should handle college official pages, poster designing as my hobby. I should do graphic designing. It also helps me as a pocket money, and as well as my hobbies were increased. And many of the as an event organizer, I hosted many of the events, especially mini marathon, flash mobs, alumni talks, industrial visits, and many other sources.
Okay, you said you have done mechanical engineering.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And you have joined Infosys in systems designing.
System
that?
engineer.
Yeah, systems is an engineer.
Yes, sir. So when I was in third year of engineering, when I was started sitting for the placement, there were certainly many opportunities for a mechanical engineer. But in the last 5-6 years, the job creation in the mechanical engineering has declined. And also more of mechanical engineering was automations. It was becoming a mechatronics. So the companies that were coming were limited opportunity and small scale industries. But where I come from Mysuru and Bangalore region, I have seen many cousins, relatives, and seniors who have shifted to the IT field and doing wonders. Because in India, especially if you see from where I am from, Karnataka and all, this is IT capital, and there is a lot of opportunities in the IT field. So I thought that there's not much of a difference, since I was always computer inclined and also good at designing computer. I thought that I should just have to reskill myself with few of the computer languages. I did so in the final year of joining, and I joined Infosys. Just all the engineering qualities are there, analytical reasoning, teamwork, all there. I just have to reskill with one subject. I did it so, and it's not a much of a big transfer as I see.
Okay, good. But though you joined mechanical engineering initially and then changed over to, you can say, IT.
Yes, sir.
Similarly, now initially you tried for Air Force, then Coast Guard, and now you want to join which service?
Now I have SSB for Air Force.
Again, back to Air Force.
Yes, sir.
After and wanting to join a good, very progressive, very upcoming career in IT.
Yes, sir. Like when
a
I was
lot of flexibility. I just want you to explain to me why there's so much flexibility in everything.
See, sir, when I want to join, like my objective was to join like armed forces. That interested me when I was in engineering. So that is my main plan A. So as I come from a middle class background, I have a financial responsibility. I always have to think about plan B. So that is where the opportunities comes. I'm opportunities where I go. Like, so for me, IT has been a plan B, and it is a strong, good career for me. I'm doing well in that field. And armed forces, wherever I get an opportunity, I don't want to miss an opportunity to join the armed forces. So especially I'm working, I can't concentrate on one forces and complete allot my all my time. So I don't have any differentiation between any other forces. I want to join the force, any forces under Ministry of Defense.
Okay, but don't you think you have got more opportunities in the IT sector in the civil, especially so in Mysuru, where such huge big company, international companies are there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is there. I don't deny that. IT has a lot of opportunities, and
opportunity for you specific. I'm talking about you.
Yes, sir. Like if the plan doesn't, if I didn't join the armed forces, I'm more than happy to work in the IT field. But what I am looking for in the armed forces, that some of the aspects are not getting in the IT. That is why my objective is to join armed forces.
Okay, what is it you think you are not getting in the IT sector in the civil, which you'll get in the armed forces?
Sir, one specific thing, if I have to say that, for example, I like adventure activities or traveling a lot. So if in IT field, I want to take a leave and do that things. But in the armed forces, every day you'll have that opportunity, both working and your adventure sports and activities will be there. And in IT field, one of the drawbacks is that job satisfaction, because you'll be mostly working for the foreign companies and you will be contributing for their development, not much about here. So here, the job satisfaction is, I think the job satisfaction in the armed forces will be yes, because you will be proud of the nation, you will be serving the nations. yes, in the IT field also contributing for the economy, but that direct people to people contact and job satisfaction is something that armed forces give more than the IT field.
What is it you know about the armed forces to say so confidently that you are likely to get job satisfaction much more in the defense forces than what you are getting presently in the IT sector?
I don't have much of. I read about in the books and I've seen from the far. I've not known any persons in it. But what I see is that whenever there is whenever I say most of the information I know about the armed forces is from the newspaper. For example, when there is a disaster, the first person that reaches is the armed forces to help the people. That kind of job satisfaction is something that interests me. We'll be doing in and like, and also when a disaster also we will be meeting with lot of interaction with the people. You'll be traveling a lot. You'll be meeting people from different ways of life. So you'll have that learning. Your spectrum of the life will be broader than when you're just working in subfield. And you'll also and there are many officers who have retired after their retirement doing extremely well in the civil world. That kind of thing, that kind of discipline, that kind of willpower, I think armed forces gives me. Even after like if I join armed forces, even after my retirement, I can go back to the corporate field and apply those skills.
But during your stay in the armed forces, how much of your knowledge you think will be used there?
Everything, sir. Like for example, I am from the IT background. I have the IT knowledge. So even if I'm in the armed forces, my knowledge will comes in handy. As a mechanical engineer, I may come in handy if some projects or some assignments has been given. It's a project. If I'm able to develop some software or handle some social media or create advertisement or any other, because in the future it will be more digital than the paperless. So definitely SNS definitely have an edge in moving forward because my skills comes in handy in solving the future problems that can come in armed forces.
Okay, good. Now we will talk about your family background. It's nice to say your father is a teacher. So obviously you have been very lucky that way. But tell me, what all do you do at home? How are your relations with your father, with your mother, with your younger sister? What all you do together as a family? How do you interact with your younger sister? And how do you help your mother at home?
Sir, one small correction. My father was a teacher. He passed away when I was 10 years old.
Okay.
So, okay. And my father was a teacher, and when he passed out, my mother was a housemaid till then. Then she got the job as a clerk in the secondary. So, in a day-to-day life, my sister works in the Bangalore. She only visits us on the weekends. So, me and my mothers are in the home. So, I help my other in the groceries, housekeeping, washing, keeping the house. And she also, like in her job profession, also she is also moving towards the digitalization. So, I'll also help her in the technology like PowerPoint, spreadsheet, etc. like that. And as my sister, the sister is only 2 years younger than me. We have been always a close friends. Even we all went to same school and colleges. So we have a lot of common friends in the school. So I consider her as a best friend. So we actually in the weekend, usually in these days, she will only visit us on the weekends. So me and my sister, usually on the Sundays, we do the cooking, and whenever there is an holiday, we go for a temple visit or any good movies have come like that. And I help my mother in day-to-day activities. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So tell me a daily routine of yours on a working day at home, right from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to sleep at night,
Yes.
and on a holiday.
I usually plan my day in the previous night before sleep, and morning I get up at 5:30 in the morning and go for a running. When I coming from the running, I'll bring the groceries the mom has told me and those things. And from till the 9 o'clock, I help my mother in breakfast, doing dishes, cutting vegetables. And 9:30, I'll drop my mother to the office. Usually, I'm in currently hybrid mode. 2 days I go to the office, and the rest day I'll be working from the home. So at 9:30, if I want to go to office, I'll go to office, or I'll start working in my home. And from 9:30, I log into my company website and I work till the 6 o'clock in the evening, or till the job completion. In the middle, if anywhere I get the time, I try to utilize to get updated about newspaper, reading newspaper. And usually, if I miss the morning running, I usually go for swimming in the afternoon in my college, in my office campus. And after coming from home, again I help my mother in doing dinner, and we usually talk, and we go for a evening walk after dinner. And if I have any extra work, if I not read the newspaper, prepare for my SSPs, I utilize that time in the evening. And later at night, I usually call my grandparents or my sisters and talk with them, or any of my friends, I talk with them. And I go to, and if I have any work left before for the tomorrow, or any in my office, I complete that and go to sleep at 10:30 in the night, sir. On the weekends, Saturday and Sunday is holiday in the IT field. Saturday and Sunday, I have the hobby of like cycling. We have a small group of people who go for a cycling in the morning, cycle expeditions around the Mysuru city. And rest of the time, I utilize my time to prepare for SSBs. And Sunday, as my sister comes to the home, we usually use that time to cook dinner and lunch. And if I have any time left, I use that time to read books, or any other job that I left out in the weekdays. I complete the task.
Yes, sir. Okay, tell me about your reading habits. What all newspapers you read, magazines, books? Which is the last book which you read, and what is it about?
I used to read a lot in my younger days, magazines like Twinkle and Phantom, but I left it in the middle. I started reading again in my college days. I just to improve my vocabulary in expressions, because it would help me in my placements and as well as in seminars. Starting, I was reading more about fiction novels, like Amish Tripaঠি's trilogies, Alchemist, Richard Bach, Chetan Bhagat books. But nowadays, I read more about non-fictions. The last book I read was India That Is Bharat, which is written by J. Sai Deepak. The book is about decolonization of Indian mindset, and how Indian can improve on decolonizing their mindset like that. And now I am reading The Splendors of Royal Mysuru, which is been written by Vikram Sampath, an historian. Newspapers, I usually read I have a subscription of Hindu newspaper. I read the editorial or in the front page, central newses, and otherwise I read any of the UPSC websites for current affairs. If I'm in the on the go or in the office, I just open their current affairs and read through.
You have read today's Hindu?
Till not, it's
Yesterday's. So which is the most interesting or most important news that you read about in the Hindu yesterday? Tell me about it in details.
Yesterday, there was one article written. It was about recently Nancy Pelosi, the US speaker, has visited.
No, I want to speak about the most important news that you read yesterday.
News yesterday. One thing I was interested that African cheetah has been imported to Kuno National Park in Madhya Pradesh, and how it can helpful in the environment like that, because Indian cheetahs were got extincted in the year 1952 because of overhunting as well as loss of ecosystems. So India has been planning to bring back cheetah for quite some time. So now they have planned to bring African cheetah from the Namibia to introduce into the Madhya Pradesh, because it is a semi-arid region and grassland. And the reason they are motivated, if they started preserving the cheetah, they also preserve the environment that is in, and the ecosystem that is in. That is, grassland ecosystem is also converted. And since cheetah comes under the higher food chain, it also has cumulative effects on the lower species also.
Okay, good. Now, one of your interests is trekking. So your boss in the Infosys, he asked you to organize a trekking, you can say hike about 50 kilometers on cycles from Mysuru to whichever place you think is identical or ideal for a group of your age group.
Yes, sir.
Good for cycling. He says, what all planning will you do, and how exactly will you conduct this cycling, you can say picnic or trekking, for your colleagues from Infosys?
After getting the permission from my manager, I'll discuss with him what is he looking for. If I am looking for something different, then I'll plan my. If I have any volunteers, I join, because divide my work. Or if I am all alone, I do work. first I'll research the place, which are the place that is nearby to the Mysuru, whether it's nearby to the Mysuru. And if there is any permission that has to be taken by the forest department or the police department, I'll take those permissions. And then I'll plan my date. What is the date? What is the starting point? Which are the itinerary? What planning itinerary? Which are the stops we are taking? And what are the things that we are need to take? And at what time we'll return? And next thing is that I'll announce it on the office mail ID or office page about a group of people. And if they have any doubts, I'll tell them that these are the resolve their doubts. And and collect the group of people. This you need this much of cycle, this much of, and what are the things that is required for cycling, like puncture kit, air pumps. If there is any small repairs, all those tools will be carried. So I'll plan my journey, and I'll inform that one day, I'll keeping them reminder that you have to come at that time, and starting point will be this. So I'll start my journey. I'll start the journey, and whatever the things that are coming on the way, I try to resolve it. And because we already have decided which where we'll have the breakfast and dinner, and we'll make sure that at that places we'll stop and have the dinner, and make sure that we are on the time and reaches the peak and come back at the same time. Or if we needed to camp out there, so if you have to camp out there, we need lot amount of logistics. Then we need the help of others to camp and to carry those things upside, and also take permission from the forest department and plan it like that.
You think 50 kilometers around Mysore from where you belong, it will require
Yes, sir.
camping at night for young
Means if-
people like you?
All employees will not be at my ages. Most of them will be seniors who will be in the 30s and the 40s group. And
Yeah.
if they want to wish that they wanted to camp their night, if they want, like, we have come all this way, we camp it and go. Or if there is some situation arises that if something got delayed, if some person got delayed, we have to camp like that. So we have to be prepared for it.
Okay, good. So one of your colleagues, a female, she lags behind and she is left behind. You realize it after some time on your way back.
Yes, sir.
So you go back to look out for her, and you find her cycle is in very bad state, and there are two gundas troubling her.
Yes,
What
sir.
will you do?
When I go to reach back, I definitely confront the gundas and make sure that she's away from them. And also when the cycle, I'm good at
But when
cycling.
you are
repairing,
trying to do that, one of the gundas gives you a blow on your face.
Sir,
What
I
will
think
you
I
do
can.
now?
Sir, I think I can also give it to him back. I can also confront two people. I can easily confront them and tackle
What will you
them.
do? Can do is a lot of things, difference between can and do. What will you do?
I'll definitely tackle them using their hands, twist it, and using the leg and tackle and push him back.
But there are two
And
of
also,
them. They catch your hands and legs and push you aside.
no, sir. When it comes to the protecting a woman, I think I'll give my best. I will give my best to protect her. I think I am built. I am very good at it. I am good at physical fitness also. I think I can tackle those two people. Not easily, I could say, but forcibly I can do and make sure that she reaches the safe spot from away from them.
Okay, right. Now you have gone for 4 SSBs.
Yes, sir.
One was Air Force, 2 was Coast Guard, and the third one was the final 4th one was?
First one was AFCAT, second was Indian Navy through CDS entry, and last two was Indian Coast Guards.
Okay, okay. You got recommended in the last one.
Last time, yes, sir, I got recommended in the last attempt.
Then why didn't you join?
I got merit out, sir, in the merit list.
Okay. So what do you think are your strong points? Your weaknesses which you would like to improve upon? And where did you go wrong as to not get recommended earlier also?
My strength is good communication skills, and I have a good sense of humor. Because of my disability, I can actively participate in group conversation. I can easily gain the trust of people very quickly and become friendly with them. And the second is curiosity. I am someone who like to learn new things, explore new things. So I satisfy by my curiosity by reading books, newspapers, interacting with the people, get to know more. And I think I have self-motivated persons. I think I have enough patience, perseverance, and motivation to set my goals and achieve them. Coming to weakness, I can little bit of anxious. Sometimes I worry too much about the outcomes and it hampers my present performance. Nowadays, I'm working on it to just to present and believe in my preparation rather than worrying about the outcome. And also, I'm not very good at artistic expressions. Like I'm not good at dancing, painting, or singing. I wish that I could have those skills, and slowly I'm trying to learn those things. My technical knowledge can be improved. And last, why I not got recommended in my first 3 attempts is that lack of preparations, because I am someone coming from a civilian background. I didn't much have the idea about the SSPs, what they were looking for. So I have to learn in the hard way, like going to the SSP. Then I realized when I was interacting with the people from different ways of life, when they got recommended, those people when interacting, eventually I got matured enough from each SSPs. I started introspecting them. I got to know more about myself, and I was able to express myself. And because of that, I think in my 4th attempt, I was good at every SSPs. I had like improvement in every stages. So I could see that improvements.
Have you taken any coaching for SSB?
Till my last attempt, I didn't take. After I got merit out, I consulted one of the psychologists and took testing, because I felt that I have the qualities, but I may have lacking in expressing myself or some of the polishing I needed. So I consulted a ex-assessor and got myself assessed.
So you know that SSB is a psychological test, not of your skills or anything else, or even your language test. So psychology test, you don't require much preparation.
No, sir, I didn't go for. I just went to one of the officers who were a psychologist, and I got to know about him on the.
No, I'm saying, you say your preparation was not there earlier.
Yes,
the preparation is not required, because at least as a rough guess, I've been in SSB for some time. About 95% of the candidates who attend or ultimately join the defense forces, they wouldn't have gone for a coaching class or guidance or things like that. They just come naturally, especially NDA. Almost 100% of them come without coaching. Now I don't know, but I'm talking about 10 years back. So really there is no requirement if you talk about psychology as such, no?
Yes, sir.
Coaching class can't change your psychology, does it?
No, sir, but it definitely helps you how to express it. You can
That's a very small minor part of expression is part of confidence is part of psychology. What do you think?
Sir, psychology, you at some point of time, you should know what the assessors are expecting from us. So I should able to, when, for example, I didn't know how to write a story, especially I had the idea, but how do you construct in a certain way? How do you write a story? Because storytelling is an art, and you have the thoughts, but you have to express in article. It is just a difference between stating facts and writing an article, so that the assessors knows that what you are expressing, and that kind of thing I needed polish. That's why I joined the assessors.
Okay, so you have got that polish now?
I think so.
Okay.
I feel I can see the changes.
Okay, good. It's nice talking to you. Likith, how do you spell your name, or what is the meaning of your name?
Sir, Likith means in Hindi it is actually literature. Likith roop mein likhi hai. Literature,
written form.
Yes, sir, writing.
Okay, it's been nice talking to you.
Yes,
do you have any questions to ask?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, sir.
I think
I'll just start because I'm being the most I'm the least informed person on the subject, so probably let me start off very rightly in the right mode. Okay, before we start, I just want you to understand, Likiths, though we have talked about it, but it's still really better if we can afford to. Okay, just as we have talked a bit, what I say, anytime it's a life skill. They say is no that comprehension, purpose, and mattering. They call it. This is a subject which I just want you to understand. This lies everything, or not only interview the life skill. One's life is experienced as making sense, as being directed and motivated by valued goals, and as mattering the world. This is what is really there. And if you can understand that everything is in place, not only the interview, but your life journey throughout. So what is the three components of prediction they call it? They call it comprehension, the coherent degree to which people perceive a sense of coherence and understanding regarding their own lives. So it was good that you understand what is right, what is not so right. That is okay. We'll talk about it later. Sense of purpose, predict meaning in life. Strongest and the most reliable predictor is the extent to which people experience life as being directed and motivated by valued of life goals. That is mattering and existing. They say degree to which people feel their existence is significant, important, and of value to the world. So these three things are there. I think everything is in its place. Secondly, it's the way things are and where things ought to be. So when you're trying to talk to anyone in the interview, you are selling your dream. You're selling your dream. What you are there, that's okay. You probably can't change. As Col Kadam would always tell you on there, past is gone. But what is your road ahead? Have you planned for it or not? So that is what says, if it is not, then you have to alter, scrap, or replace. So those things will have to. This is what I just wanted to understand that. That's all. Okay. And lastly, secondly, just wanted to tell you one more thing before we take on the subject itself. They call narrative. Today we call that we are identified by the story. We call narrative identity. Narrative identity. Individual form identity to integrate life experience into internalized, evolving story of the self and provide individual with a sense of unity and purpose. So whatever your life experience, you have to rewrite those stories, small stories, construct it together. So you have to reconstruct past and look at it, what you have perceived present and what you are going to be in the future. That's all I just wanted to say that. They are the two important things in life. SSB is trivial, interview is trivial, but they are all things which are important. Now, as far as the interview was concerned, let me just give you started off excellently well. When you talked about Mysuru, you talked quite a bit detail. And even when Col Kadam asked you, why not Brindaban Garden? I rightly put person right subject. I think that was very impressive. And you did put in a lot of effort to understand, to read about your own place. And you did bring it out in the right fashion. Secondly, the first CIQ that you have talked about it, you did talk, you did try to cover up everything. Only 2 points which are there. There seems a certain amount of doubt when you talk about two things. Teachers who are making routine, I do not like it. So that means that shows a strong bias. You cannot afford to. If I'm supposed to teach you, if I stick to the subject, you got no reason to dislike me because that is my duty. That is my duty. When you tell your teachers you dislike the teacher only primarily because he stuck to his own course, he did not go outside the syllabi. That's exactly what you want to say. That's wrong. That's absolutely unacceptable. Because he is performing his job. Yes, if you did not like his studies, he was not qualified, then fair enough. Then you got reasons to say that. And same thing got confirmed when you talk about, I do not like friends who are pessimistic and all those particular things. There was no question to that. Why did you bring out that answer? There was no reason for bringing it. He simply asked, tell me the friends, who are your friends and who are your close friends? And rightly brought across who are close friends when you talked about they are very honest, they are motivated, experienced, or you get logic for it. There is nothing wrong. He did not ask you, why don't you like your friends? That question was never put to you. Why did you answer those questions? That again indicates that strong likes and dislikes comes to play. That is one thing very, very clear. Very, very. Then you talk about your very well answered question was why did you choose your mechanical to IT? I think when you talk to mechatronics, when you talk about all this kind, very rightly put, you had logic. You had logic for it, and you did. You did not get to. Though he was interviewing also was trying to get you aside, right, and he wanted to put a pressure on you, but you didn't succumb under pressure. You didn't succumb under pressure, and I rightly put across that this itself is a field which you have chosen, and you said there was a need for money, and I had to perform some job, and I had to take up the job which is available to me, and I took it up, and now I'm liking Bhaskar Prime, and you get a logic because you were good at IT and all part of thing in the school days and all, that you have to go back. That's a very right. So that in a case, that was very well thought out. Then you talk about worst thing which I found when you talk about reading habit, and you started talking Twinkle and all, those are the children study here. Where was the need? Where's the need for bringing that? That was the course, class 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. We talk about Twinkle and all those magazines. Where was the need for it? Why do you have to bring it? That means you are reading, you are trying to cover up. You are trying with reading habit. You don't have a very good reading habit, and you are trying to cover up, and you are exposing yourself. There's no need for exposing yourself in that situation. You could have avoided it very straight. And you could talk about so many good magazines are available in India today. You are there. That he's not going to ask you what is the which magazines you have read and tell me what you read after 1 year. So that shows again when you talk intelligence, then mental age by chronological age. At one place you look so mature, you look very outward, and suddenly you give me a sense of that still go back to the. So that is going back to the back age. That's a very dichotomy which comes into play. You're looking very mature output, mature answer. We got in many places, you get very mature and good answers. And then you go back talking about Twinkle and other answer, and I didn't study and started studying from college days. Very nice. And you talk about only 2 books, and those 2 books again you name the author, which is Chetan Bhagat and all the particular things I said. They are all modern writers. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They are the people that is what is being talked about today, but unfortunately, fortunately, they may or may not be right. That they are being sold off. But you could have talked to something better. And the last book when you talk about you gave a history book of the Mysuru. That is what you talk the history book with the red around there. There is need for it. This is your weakness. You ought to cover it up. You ought to cover it up. There's something says something. So this is a hobby that you are talking. You got enough. You did talk about how well you are connected with the family, looking after the family. Your father was not available. You are the person on there. You took your family. You always take your mother and father. That's a parent. That's nothing wrong with the system. That is till now there's nothing wrong. Then you take it again when you say the news. Cheetah is one small trivial news as the nation is concerned. What was yesterday's news? That you could have talked about it. That simply indicates you have not read the newspaper. Even if you read it, you do not know where to give priority, where to give not to give priority. What is a news? What is not a news? There can be so many things. This cheetah event will be not the main news in any case. It will one small particular thing caption there somewhere in between. And today only if you read it, you talk to cheetah, and cheetah itself, they said no, the India government always said any cheetah which is bred inside a closed environment will not take it. That is today's news that has come back, and that is like in one side corner. So that indicates you are not at all reading. Even if you are reading, you are not in a position to understand where the priority, which is a news, which is not a news. That you have to understand that aspect again. Then you talked about I can grant you that much. You handled that situation of organizing things. You could have done it still better. You did talk about the place, selection of the place, how much time. You didn't talk about finance. You didn't talk about other aspects of who is going to fund the money, from where are the money is going to come, what is the food and all the recreation activities, and it is only simply cycling and coming down. What are the places which you want to visit and how would like to utilize that full time? Going 50 kilometers, coming with 100 kilometers, is it only for exercise? No, it has to have some purpose. If it's only for exercising, cycling, or going, well, that you can go onto the road and come back. That's every day in the morning you start and come back from there. It's a trekking event, so it has to have a certain purpose. And that purpose, you don't have to ask the principal or the head of the institution to do, but tell you what is to be done. You have to decide what is right, what is not right, what is to be, what is not to be done. That is assuming you have to corroborate it. Okay. Then you talk about mechanical job. I just forgot. And you talk about
the courage part, Papa. That courage. Again, synthetic situation.
Correct. No, that's handled well. That's okay. That's fair enough. He's still to his own ground. I grant that you have done it very rightly from that system. That's very, very nicely handled down there. Overall, now looks to me you have got making of a good interview. What is really required? You can walk across on own merit. Let me just tell you very well. You have got good communication. You can express yourself well. What you have to be cautious. What is to be told by you? Remember, it is not talking which is important. You have to bring out your 15 qualities. 15 qualities, and that too, this out of 15 quality, that is 6.5 quality which you talk. That is more important. First quality is reasoning ability. You gave out logic everywhere, so provide the granted reasoning abilities in place. And interviewing also will start only if you got logic, and you did give logic every time. So I grant you the reasoning ability is available. Social adaptability, I still grant you that much. You have already talked about that. You have got a good, good relation with your mother and your sister around there. Only one thing which again puts me back, which puts me doubt when you talk about I don't like to be pessimistic and all that. Because then the likes and dislikes. That's when I when I put it, there's a doubt in my social adaptability comes to play. There's a doubt. There's a doubt into it because when it comes to dealing with others, you find it difficult around there. Cooperation, no, nowhere when you talk about it, beyond that, you have not a single place it comes out where you are cooperating when you are cooperating with others, someone is cooperating. So in your when you're talking about, you should be able to bring it out somewhere. You have not talked about team, you have talked about individualistic approach. Maybe because the need in your case is there because things are not, God was not so kind that your father expired earlier, and so many things are there. Probably you must have had a lot of family pressure step to sustain. But you have not talked about those. Sense of responsibility, I'll accept it because your team seem to be sincere. I think that's conscientious, that's okay. Liveliness, you get that in the when you look at liveliness is the word. You have to remain a buoyant. You have to remain buoyant. You did indicate, in spite of the father's death and all, you just maintained, so I grant you that much. Courage, yes, courage, you have handled it well, so that I grant you that you did not come under pressure, what he is trying to do about it. And lastly, mental stamina, that is what is it? That is mental stamina. Mental stamina, again, certain, I have not got a clue of mental stamina. I know that I think the Kadam will be able to talk about it. Overall, as far as me I'm concerned, it is you have got the making of a good person who can walk on own merit, provided you take corrective measures. Corrective measures. These corrective measures, and it is what we say, we call it Freudian slip. All these mistakes that you have done, it is like a people, roots of a people tree. It finds a way in between. You never wanted to bring out these particular aspects. These negativity has come in by slip of the tongue that you talk about it. So this is called Freudian slip, the psychological phenomena. And as far as all these bright interview also after there, they are waiting for that small tinkling to come back and what is there, what is not so right. And he'll put certain out. Okay, that's the overall briefing. I think you have got making everything. That's all. And I'll hand over to Captain Sasi for his.
Yes, Kadam sir is this.
Now, if you want to give it. Otherwise, we'll have it. Kadam. Okay.
Kadam sir.
Okay, Kadam. Right, Kadam sir, you have it. It's all yours.
Right, sir. Likith.
Yes, sir.
You have done overall quite well, but you started off also very well.
Thank you, sir.
But overall, after the initial start, what positive things came into my mind, you negated them one by one till by the end of it. Like Colonel Prasad rightly brought out, you have not given out the meat of the questions, relevant questions as suitable for your age or maturity and experience. A simple thing like leopard thing, newspaper, somebody talks about what is the most important thing is the front line, what is the most important, what is happening internationally or nationally.
You could have talked about Taiwan, you talked about China, they talked about so many, there was a Shankar was there in the foreign country, there was something, China in the interaction was there. So all these things are available around there. Something happening in the country
Ukraine
itself.
nuclear plant.
Yeah, Ukraine nuclear plant, everything. You go into the current, last so many months, this question is there, you're offering. Even if it is not there in front page, say nuclear this thing, Even if it goes, Ukraine war goes into the, say, some other page, still you can always describe it just to give me an impression.
Leopard will never come into play.
You know,
Leopard is
but
the most. Leopard, you are bothered about leopard. So many people are dying every day. Yeah. Why should we bother about that? So many people are dying, so many things are lynching, everything is going on. So why should we bother about the leopard part of it? How is it going to affect us? Probably even if it affects, it will happen with your children, not with us. We are going to die before that. Okay.
Anyway, so the Indian cricket team, they snatched the defeat from the mouth of victory. So something like that. I'm not saying that, not that drastic, but yes, you have to get into the merit. Basically, just an advice from experience. It's the written part which you can make much better. And SSB, the difference will not be much between what you are now and what you do in next 2 months or 3 months or maybe 6 months. Okay. Yes, polishing, it does help. And I think it has done you good. That's why in the 4th attempt, you have been recommended. But yeah, courage also, you did very well. That is what you expected. But the organization part in that situation, you are not done well. How can a person from your group stay behind and you have to go back? That means there has not been done proper planning. That's why planning I had asked. And thereafter, how will you conduct it? Conduct part is, see, every question has got its major aim. You should give major and the subsidiary. Don't give something negative, like I don't like this, I don't like that. Nobody's asked you. Subsidiary should be to enhance your personality. Give something more better about yourself. Right? So in that context, you could have given at combined for your sake, combined trekking with cycling, so that you had experience of both. Now, seeing your reading habits, which I think is not there, these two also have become doubtful. And so don't make anything look doubtful, because in SSB, the biggest thumb rule is whenever there is a doubt, the benefit goes to the state. State means we don't recommend. So the state
when we go to the assessor, sir. Not to the candidate.
Anyway, there is a lot of scope. There is not major kink with you as such. There is nothing. Everything, as Col Prasad said, little bit of attention, and that will take a lot of your, you might think it's a small thing, not to give out my drawbacks, deliberately. But the interviewing officer will take it out. If he doesn't take it out, the psychologist will. And lastly, you yourself will give it out in GTO's test. Your kings. That way, that sequence. I had a psychologist in my SSB, Mr. Sinha. He has 40 years of experience. He used to come and tell me that this chap has got instructor in Chandigarh Academy, so and so he has been coached. So I think you have been coached to some extent, and your answers now, looking backward in the interview. Initially, I didn't get that, but looking backward, I feel, and there are few of the questions were coached answers to the question, right? So it should not be that way. You should show your maturity in that, your knowledge in that, and your experience in that. That's all, sir. I have.
Just to tell you something, today, actually, when you look at it, it's very difficult for a person to pass SSB without being at least having some interview from the same. Very few people are passing. That's unfortunately, it's not because they are bad, because they do not know how to present themselves. Orientation is very, very important. You may be good, but you do not project your qualities with that interviewing officer, or into the story, or then you are written off. No one is going to give you. It is not the zero. You have to go above that marks. Minimum level has to pass. So if we have taken, there is nothing to be ashamed of it. Yes, you should be forthright. Yes, I have attempted. What is that? That's nothing wrong with the system. But you have to give a logic. Your answers should be for everything that you do. Any question from your side, Likith? Any question you want to ask?
No, sir.
Please ask around that. We are all open to us. So open to this. Any question which you would like to ask?
Likith, just whatever the sirs have mentioned like now is with the intent of brushing up your psychology. Once your psychology is brushed up, automatically what sirs are saying that you will clear and you will figure in the merit. So look at it that way. And there are many people who don't read. If it's not in your hobby, it's not in your passion, it's okay as what sir is saying. That is, we don't judge it as that ki you have to be like, if like this, then we'll select you. So it doesn't work that way. So don't go into artificialness. Be positive about whatever you are. You are positive as what sir has brought out.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any question?
So,
No, sir.
No? Right then. Best of luck.
Sir.
I think
Thank you, sir.
God bless you. And we
Yeah.
pray to see you in inform whenever we meet next. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Right then.
All the best. All
Thanks,
the
Thank
best.
you, sir.
Likith. Thanks, Captain Sir. I think
Right,
we
sir.
are
Good day, sir.
good. Okay, bye.
Good day,
Thanks,
sir.
thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye. You can talk to me and Likith separately after that. Okay. Okay. Bye.
Okay, sir.
Now we are all there. Yeah, Likith. Hello. Yeah, Likith.